Hello. Hi. Oh yeah, my hot water bottle is still. I still don't want to put like the heating on because it's not that cold, but then I get really chilly, and so I do use the hot water bottle. I know. Anyway, hi everyone, and I'm sorry that I need to do this every time, but it is what it is. So now we can actually start the live. I feel like maybe this camera is a bit weird. Just give me a sec. Isn't it weird that you just see like my... Ooh, now I see myself. Yes, that's weird that you can see like my forehead. I'm gonna change this camera just slightly. Now I'm gonna touch it and everything's gonna fuck up. A bit better maybe. Yeah, I feel that's slightly better. I have like camera here. Everything is just a mess today, and I'm sorry. You can see from my workshop, like, I'm gonna move the camera now since I'm not gonna use it. But yeah, sorry for this very long intro. Anyway, so hi everyone and welcome to my workshop if it's your first time here. My name is Joy and I'm an art jeweler, and I am hosting this art club, which is called the Art Break Club, because the idea is that we take 30 minutes out of our days, just chat about art and artists and what's important and relevant in art, you know, concepts, techniques, news, all of that, documentaries. So this is what this place is all about. And today, since it's Tuesday, sorry, I'm going to leave these somewhere. Today, since it's Tuesday, I'm going to work on my actual work. So I'm going to continue to do the earrings I've been doing, and we're just going to chat. So I have my chat open here. So shit. Can you see me? I don't know if you can see me. Ah, fuck. I hope you can see me. Ah, yes, yes. I hope this won't like happen again and this will work. Huh. I don't know if it's working, if you can see my face or not. No, it's not working. Fuck, this is happening again. I hate it. I don't know what's happening to my camera, and I'll need to sort it out some way. And probably what I'm gonna do is just, I think I'm gonna just take the microscope and put it in my face, because otherwise this is kind of weird, right? Or maybe I want to check something out, and I hope this works. Maybe it's just the battery, you know? It's not turning. Was I that dumb? Was I that dumb? Yes, I was actually that dumb. Let's see if I can work this out in like the next minute or so. You know, this is what happens when you decide to do everything live. That was such a weird thing. I am sorry for this. Hopefully one of these is going to be fully charged. Otherwise, you're just going to see like the top of my head, right? So let's see if this works. Let's cross our fingers. Yes! So this should be working now. Just let's give it a sec. I can't believe I actually solved this live. I'm so proud of myself now. Like, I really am. Like, really proud of myself. I think you're going to be able to see my face in like a minute. You can't see it. I can see it, and you can't. Fuck. I'm going to give it a moment and see what happens. So, this is completely like blocked. I don't know what's happening. This is so weird because I also see myself like on the iPad and it's blocked over there, and I don't know which one it's because I have a streaming. I know you don't care about this. I really hope this is working. I have no idea because it's completely, I feel, blocked on YouTube. I'm gonna reach out. Let's see where that goes. I didn't need this today. I honestly didn't need this today. But apparently now it's working. I won't touch anything else ever, like. So, here we are, finally starting this thing. I'm sorry for these like first few minutes of just mess, but you know, this is what you get when you do it live. It's fine. So, when I wanted to talk about today about balance, because yesterday we chatted about that documentary about Hilma af Klint, and we had the same we did the same thing last Monday on Francis Bacon, and I kind of see like a recurring pattern. And by the way, I'm doing these earrings. I think they're so like super cute. Oops. I found the fact that I just threw one down here. And I'm seeing this recurring pattern about the fact that these artists, in order to become the artists that they in the end did become, they had to sacrifice everything. And with everything, I mostly mean their personal lives. So their relationship with their spouses, with their personal, like private, with friends, family. They had weird relationships with many people in their lives. They depended on many people in their lives, but they didn't have, it feels like, you know, artists rarely have a balanced relationship with their spouse, their best friends, their family. And so the topic I want to cover today is exactly that, you know, because obviously in this time that we're living, there are so many things happening, and there are so many things that we could do, you know, the possibilities, at least for the privileged, lucky people, not everyone obviously in the world, unfortunately, but we have a world that is more open than it used to be, and we are conscious of many more possibilities than, you know, our parents or grandparents were. And even if things can be more difficult, like, you know, the increased cost of living or of housing compared to, you know, wages, stuff like that, which obviously we can compare with other generations, but we also need to keep into consideration the fact that we have more possibilities. Sorry, I'm trying to get my iPad going just to see what's happening, what you're seeing, if you're not seeing like my face being like stuck in one position. Anyway, so when I was like, while I was watching the documentary, and I also talked about it yesterday a bit, the fact that Hilma af Klint decided not to marry was for her a strategic move, because she didn't, in that way, she could continue to give like time and effort to her art rather than, you know, a husband. I don't think this works with, you know, doing this, so I won't do it. But I also think that in order to have a space and a time to create, we need somebody else that takes care of us. So either we have a spouse, and I think that's actually one of the main reasons why we have so many more male artists than female artists, at least that I consider like, you know, geniuses and had the time to give themselves completely to art. And it's something that honestly I envy them. I envy it so much, so much. And not only the possibility of doing it, but I envy the fact that they can do it and be praised for it. While if I did it, I feel like I wouldn't. People would tell me that I'm obsessed, that I'm doing something useless, that I should, take care of other people as well, that I shouldn't be so selfish. And also I feel like I would lose a lot of my loved ones and friendships and all of that because I wouldn't be taking care of them and I wouldn't be giving them what honestly I think they deserve. And I do think that that's a very gendered and biased, obviously, because I am a woman, but I think it's gendered conversation because we don't treat women and men the same way. And when people are why are they calling me? When people are traditionally, let's say, male, and adhere to that role of a man in society, I think there is a justification regarding work. So everything that's attached to work is something that we justify and we say, okay, but that's work. He wasn't here for the last 2 weekends, or he had to work until 2 a.m. in the morning. But that's amazing of him. That means that's dedication. That means he has meaning and desire to do that and all of that. Well, I think my problem here is that I don't know if it's a trap where I put myself in, believing that other people would consider me differently, or if it's actually something that society has imposed on women and is imposing on me specifically, because I don't have children, I don't have at least yet, and hopefully for quite a long time, parents to take care of. But still, I feel like, I think other women can understand this, at least women in a heterosexual relationship. But when you're inviting people to dinner, you're still probably the person who decides it, who sends the invites, even if it's just texting and deciding whose house, where you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, who's going to cook what or bring what, or who's going to which restaurant. I still feel that that's a gendered, at least here in Italy, hopefully less in the rest of the world, but I think that's still a gendered conversation. And I think that trickles down to art, because it's very difficult to maintain that balance, especially I think at the beginning, because once you're a Pulitzer Prize winner author, I think nobody actually doubts your work and doubts that your work has value, whether you're whatever kind of ethnicity, wherever you come from, you're rich, you're poor, you're a woman, you're a man, whatever identity you have. At that point, when you've been recognized by a big chunk of society, I think nobody will actually will doubt your work. But when you're starting out, when you're trying to achieve something, when you're trying to actually put a lot of your time and effort into your art, but it hasn't had those incredible recognitions yet, I think it's just so hard to find that balance between really pushing yourself and giving yourself and your art time to thrive and to prosper and to become what it's meant to become, to flourish, and give yourself time to think and like deep dive into your emotions so that you understand what you want to do and all of that, and what you want to communicate as well. I just think that it's very difficult to find that balance, and it's more difficult for people who are considered caregivers in this society. And so I don't have an answer for this. I would like to have an answer for this, but I would like to, have an answer regarding like my feeling guilty if I don't, you can see this place is a mess, but everybody kind of accepts this because it's a workshop. So the workshop can be a mess, but I feel guilty if I don't have like a clean home because I'm putting too much time into my work, because that doesn't make me a good woman in some ways. And I know this is like these things have been spoken about in the 70s, and I'm not saying anything new, but I do think that I have it as like an imposed role, like women role in society, which is obviously part of the patriarchy and all of that. But I also think that everyone who's in a position where they have to take care of people, they have to take care, whether it's monetarily or giving their time, their emotional needs, because also we have somebody in our family that's depressed or that has some special needs, and there are those people in the family or in the group, in a friends group, who need to take care of that person. And each one of us who in any kind of way or form is a caregiver, I think that is a big, I don't want to say limit, because I don't think it's a limit, but it's something that deeply that influences deeply our balance with our artistry, because so much of our time and effort goes into taking care of others. And one of the things that I completely, thoroughly was envying when I was, well, those are not the only two documentaries that I saw, but those are the ones that I chatted about with you. But take Monet for example, the fact that he could just go close himself into his house and just paint the whole day. That would be amazing. But who's gonna pay the rent? Not only who's gonna earn the money to pay the rent, but who's gonna actually pay the rent, pay the bills, go to do the shopping, cook, clean the dishes, take away the rubbish bin, all of that. Who's going to do that? Because I really, really love this idea that we need to, both to be an artist, but also I've heard this about being, an entrepreneur, which makes it even more fun when you are both of those things, because you need to live as an artist, so you need to be an entrepreneur to a certain extent. The fact that there are these wonderful, incredible people who have obtained incredible things, who've had the opportunity to just work 12, 14 hours a day. And I'm like, that's amazing, but how do you do that? How do you do that if you don't have another person staying home taking care of you? I just don't. Either you have the money to have somebody else taking care of you and your needs, or otherwise you have a person, which traditionally it's a woman. It doesn't have to be, and it's changing, but traditionally it is a woman who's taking care of you. And I don't necessarily want that. I don't want a family member or my partner to take care of me in that sense, to devote their lives to what I want to do and what I personally feel like I should share because it's important for me. I just find it incredibly selfish. So I'm trying to find a balance between, giving it all to my art and to what I want to communicate, because that is important for me. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to, that's what I want to do with my life. That's what I want to become. That's my personal search for my identity, which, goes through, in my personal opinion, it doesn't need to be the same for you. But in my personal opinion, this applies to my art. I discover who I am through my art and through the things that resonate with me and that are important to me, that I want to share with people. But should that be in spite of somebody else giving their time and effort and care to me, to my vision, to my need? I don't think that's right. Which is why I really want to cook for myself and clean for myself and, decide what I'm going to eat and buy my own food and do all of that. Because I want my family and my partner not to be my caregivers just because I need and I want to be completely absorbed in my art. But that's really hard. If you have better ways of doing it, please tell me, because I would really like to become better at it. But for now, apart from just telling myself, hey Joy, today that's enough, you've done enough, just go home, do whatever you have to do, take a shower, cook, enjoy your time with your family, because that's important. Other than that, and trying to limit myself, I haven't found a real way of balancing that. And also, I'm sitting here with the doubt, what would I be able to do if I gave myself 100% selfishly and completely to my art? And I think that's something that we need to, something that we need to understand and also, live with. Because it's just something that, that's just life. It's nothing that we can change. We either accept it or find another way of sorting it out. But, I once saw a documentary, I think it was on Netflix, on Bill Gates. And he was saying that he goes to a cabin in the woods for a month with only his books and just reads for a month. And I was like, wow, that's heaven. Amazing. You go there. You don't need to think about anything because somebody else is taking care of everything else. You don't need to cook. You don't need to think about what you're going to eat, which is something that I absolutely despise. And you just stay there, take walks in nature, come back to your cabin, read your book, take notes, create new ideas, think them through, realize that some of them are shit, do some research, read some more, drink a cup of tea. That's heaven. That's literally my idea of heaven. But I feel first of all, I feel that that's very, very difficult if you're not very rich. But also, I think there is a degree of selfishness that if you've been brought up, if you've been educated to be a caregiver, it's very, very hard to obtain. It's very, Francis Bacon, incredible artist, but he used to, gamble and get wasted, go home, be completely drunk. If I did that, who would take care of me? Who would want to be the great woman behind the great man? If I was the great man, who would want to be that? If we don't have people who have been, taught to do that, which in this case, usually it's women, who have a certain kind of pride into being the great woman behind the great man. If we don't have those people, who's going to do that? Who's going to take that role? Because I think most of us want to be like the person in front. We don't want to be the person in the back just washing the dishes and and deciding what to eat and putting the kids to bed, or even just having a normal life, but also taking care of everything else for the other person who's this, super special, incredible being who needs to be taken care of because their work is so important. But on the other hand side, what if we don't get to do our best work because we're thinking about all of these other things that are obviously taking a toll on our minds and, our brains and our attention span? I mean, social media is much worse for attention span than deciding what you're going to eat for dinner, obviously. And unfortunately, but still, I don't know, I think that's a question that I will always have for myself, and I would really like to find that balance, because I don't think it's right. I also don't think it's right. For example, there are some, while we give companies, we want companies to address their materials and how they're working and all of that. We don't ask the same of artists, for example. So we want artists to be like voices of a generation, and we want their art to be, disruptive, or to be catalyst for change, or to inspire. But sometimes we just don't think about the impacts, the practical impacts, not only the message impacts, because sometimes, art has an incredible impact, but also we don't know the practical impact. Like, for example, I don't remember who did it. I'm sorry for my ignorance. But somebody did like a huge gold cube, and they put it in Central Park or something. And I understand the meaning behind it, but also, where did the gold come from? Nobody cares, because the idea is the most important thing. So we don't keep artists accountable towards, where the material comes from, who created, the canvas, the painting, all of that. I think it's just something that we don't, unfortunately, think about too much. But I'm getting carried away. I don't know. I would just really like to, have the chance. Maybe that's what, residencies are for. Maybe, it's really hard to find residencies as a goldsmith because you need so much equipment and the material is so expensive. So it's really hard to find residencies. But maybe that's what residencies are for, and I would really, really like to do a residency, to find a residency. But who knows? If you have a solution to my problem, please reach out and tell me. Sorry, this has depressed me a little bit. I hope it hasn't depressed you. I'm sorry if it did. I didn't want to do that. It's just that sometimes, time and thinking about what I can and cannot do just gets the best of me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've been blabbering for 30 minutes and I haven't done anything for my earrings because I have to use my drill, and otherwise you wouldn't hear me. So yeah. Sorry about that. I will see you tomorrow. Usually on Wednesdays I talk about like like a craft artist, because I really would like to highlight them. But I actually would like to change the format, and tomorrow I'm going to talk about it a bit more because I would like to make it slightly different. But just so you know, I would like to make this art club more an us space rather than a me space. So I would like Wednesdays to be moments where I'm not alone, and some of you are with me live. You know, we can have a Zoom call. I'll find out how to just stream it. I don't know, but I will find a way. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about it tomorrow. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening or rest of your day, depending on where you are. And I hope you're better at finding balance than I am. And if you have a strategy or a recipe for that, please share it with me, because it's something I've been really struggling in the last years or so. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Whoops. What's happening here?